What?
A new technique? What? Hey, look at this. We're live. Holy cow.
Did you call it the Western Stranger?
The Western Stranger.
We're talking about the Nick maneuver. You know.
Okay, yeah. So the Nick maneuver
leads to the Western Stranger.
This makes sense. Now, we are either talking about new fancy NFT gamification methods or, sex.
The New Age Kama Sutra.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. This is the Web3 Kama Sutra. This got really fucking weird. So fun. I'm grateful for that. It's been a hard week this fucking year. Holy shit. So thank you for that.
No.
I know, right? What's going on?
David Werbra and you all know NFT Nick of ESL. What is like ESL is like English as a second language. What's going on with that?
Yeah, but it's also EverSmart Labs.
Wow, that's going to be tough for second language learners to grasp, man. EverSmart Labs, those ones that you pay a little bit extra money for in the dog store because they sit a little bit quicker than the rest, right? And so I'm actually really excited about this because you guys are doing NFTs for smart cities. So we're gonna have a lot of fun, and we'll probably do something a little bit serious. But yeah, welcome to the show, guys. That's really, really great to have you here. Obviously, Nick, it's been since yesterday, but like really, it's way too long since we've had you on live. And David, I've heard nothing but good things. So but that's all I got to say. There's enough smart people on here. Right. I don't even need to be here.
That's the new Jimmy maneuver. He's just like
exactly. Well, everybody around here is familiar with yours truly here, and David Werba is the guy that sits in the background mostly, but he is the type of guy that I want to have shine and, let his brilliance out. Although it's not that brilliant, but, he's got a good amount of brilliance and stuff like that, and we do need to nurture that small amount of brilliance into a great amount of brilliance, because if we don't, then my house is going to be gone. So, David, introduce yourself to America, the U.S., the world, China, and Japan. Anybody who's listening, David.
That was a forgettable prelude, Nick. Thank you for that.
I know.
The amount of love and ball busting, like Jimmy, you and I really can say we don't need to say shit for the rest of the show. You guys are doing our jobs, so go on.
Right, but just a minute, David.
It's like a morning off. Only I think you guys are better at it than we are, which is super fun.
But just a minute, David. I need to fix something. It didn't work. Damn it! Like I really didn't work. Like I want you. I want you. No, I want you on the other side of Nick, so it actually looks like he's talking to you instead of away from you. That's
okay.
No.
There we go.
Fix it. Yeah, see?
Oh man, it actually works.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, David.
No, it's
well.
Anyway, like I think this is the only project I've ever worked on in my entire career that had over 2 years of kind of, going dark and underground in terms of development, really staying under the radar. Yeah, and we're ready to start launching things. So it's kind of surreal. I mean, it's been a while. Like the first few months we were just kind of mapping out this project so I have two co-founders, Mark and Sophia, and their background is real estate. Mark in particular, he's been converting mobile home parks all over Arizona. Like he's done hundreds and hundreds of those projects, converting them to just regular parks and whatever the landowner needs, and shipping all the homes to different areas. And he's also a tax lien expert. He's done over 1,000 tax liens on various properties in the Southwest. And Sophia's just kind of like a networker, and she's also a real estate investor going back 20 plus years. And so they have a lot of knowledge just in terms of various development strategies with real estate. And I met that. I was actually speaking at an event on blockchain and cryptocurrency about 4 years back, and they were in the audience, both of them. They didn't even know each other either, and we kind of connected afterwards, and yeah, started kicking around this idea. And I really liked it. What was kind of unique for me approaching the design, you know, from a blockchain and crypto perspective, is that it's a resource-backed economy. And I mean, those are so rare in this ecosystem, where the economy is driven by like the natural resources that are being generated in the smart city. You know, the most obvious one is solar energy, and we're going to have an overabundance of what is needed to power the city. So we can use that on site to, you know, generate new streams of revenue. We can even mine, you know, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and shipping containers for free based on stored energy. We're also generating natural gas and carbon fiber and yeah, hydrogen even. So we're going to be a electric car port. You know, we're going to have like electric car parking and recharging and everything, using wind turbines, various aquaponic systems, and building greenhouses. So we're growing food on site. So, you know, there's a lot going on there. But at the end of the day, in respect to NFTs, like the whole thing is tokenized, right? And residents are going to be incentivized not just to move in, but just to continue to live there and interact in the community with NFTs with the highest staking power that will be available. So yeah, there's a lot of layers to this, really. We have a lot of partners, there's a lot of entities involved with this kind of unified mission, and we're trying to just roll this out strategically. But yeah, we're just talking about Atomic Hub, kind of trying to control our creative process. But
how dare
they? I know.
You know,
but if you notice, one of the biggest things that David has said, and this is something that you guys at the Uplift has done, you know, exponentially wonderfully, is we're building not only just a fun little place to live, we're building a community. So it's not just going to be the people that live in the container homes. It is going to be the people that are just on the outside of the periphery that shop in the city. They'll also be getting some incentives and stuff like that. So once we could have a closed economy and we'll still be fine. But to really thrive and to get this idea to go public and viral and stuff like that, we need the community to be involved in it. So part of the strategy is for the people inside the community, and then part of the strategy is for the people outside the community. And that's something that, you know, something that I've always been very, you know, adamant about from the very start. If we do something, we've got to go ahead and we've got to go ahead and involve as much community as possible. Otherwise, this thing is just going to be a dead little, you know, spot on the map.
Yeah, and it's early on, in our early meetings, and you know, our first NFT is called Early Sketches, so it kind of has the, you know, emulates like the early drawings we were just kind of doing of the development itself. But early on, I'm like, we can't build a bubble economy, right? It's like, it's not interesting to me, or I don't know who it's really interesting to, where it's just for a resident community of 1,000 people. It's like, okay, how do you have to include the global public as participants in some way? And that's what we've done with our NFT strategy and our model. It allows basically the public to go buy in the NFTs, stake them, start earning, you know, passive income, but it's supported by the economy, the resource-backed economy of EverSmart City, and all of the other NFT series that we're launching outside of that with our joint ventures. And these are going to be giant projects with, you know, global icons and fashion industry and, you know, comic artists, music artists, businesses, various businesses. And we're very eager to start launching those so people can kind of see the big picture of what's going on here. But we have to go in phases, and we can't release all of the information right now. But yeah, we're getting the ball rolling, I guess, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes like, so this is the thing, like people might think I'm relatively like unstable and insane because my ideas are really out there, but like actually like this is kind of a similar thing to one of the rants that I have often on the show. Like I studied permaculture, and there's this thing in permaculture, there's these 10 levels of you know how to build a sustainable ecosystem basically. But like the 8th or the 9th level looks at like economies and eternal economies and things like that, right? And like it's like a step up from the barter system, but a step down from like the national government controls, you know, all the funds, and they go in and out. And you know, like Nick's been to Japan, he's seen it. There's shops that have no business still being in existence, but the only reason that they are is because the funds circulate between those shops, right? And so it's really interesting to me because like if you can meld smart cities with that ideology as well as toss NFTs in here. I'm not going to talk about supermarket NFTs, but I'm going to talk. I'm going to go right. But I'm going to go one further. Right. There was this really interesting idea in Canada when solar first came out. This is a number of years ago now, but like some of the first people that put there's a project that is run by Chris Barnes that's looking at solar energy NFTs. And he's not saying this, but I'm saying this. But like it's really interesting because when those first NFTs when those first solar panels came out in Canada, people who were putting them on their houses were actually getting paid by the electricity company because the electricity company in Canada was actually buying their excess electricity. Now, what if you had an NFT that like owned those rights and was able to like be backed by excess energy or by excess food or by excess product, like, you know, and this is a really, again, I'm probably out there in crazy land, but it kind of sounds like you guys are thinking along this line, right? Like,
no,
like
it's
how
not
can
crazy.
you,
It's
right?
not crazy at all, and it works. I mean, we've spent a lot of time putting this together. I mean, most of last year, we, you know, with our joint venture partners as well, we've been filing patents. We got trademarks, you know, just talking to lawyers way too much, way more than I'd prefer. Tax planners, entity experts, list goes on in preparation of all this stuff. But yeah, it does work. It really does. And it's, but the whole, like I've worked on a lot of projects in this space, right? I was part of the founding team at MusicCoin. So that was the first, you know, music streaming app in the blockchain world. It's built on Ethereum. Part of the launch team at M&A, just as an advisor, I still, you know, poke in here and there. And yeah, maybe a couple dozen other projects I've just kind of advised on, just really honing in on the economic model, trying to make it as sustainable as possible. But pretty much all those other projects, they didn't have like a resource-backed economy. It's like 95+% of economies in this ecosystem aren't backed by anything. They're backed by speculation and the need to have 10 million users of your application to really take it to the next level and have like full liquidity in the market to make it, you know, healthy and prospering. With a resource-backed economy like we've designed, we don't need users, which is crazy. It's like we want to include the global public as participants, and we will, and build community and everything. But the health of our market is actually driven by the simple fact of us building cities or partnering with existing development properties or apartment complexes, baking them into our model. And as we continue to grow, network rewards continue to grow, because it's, you know, based on resources, staking, NFTs, and it all just kind of, yeah, it all works, man. It's a circular economy that actually works.
That's the part that I keep coming back to. Sorry, Nick, go ahead. You had a thought.
Just and also the other thing that we've come up with the fact that, you know, okay, this is going to make us a lot of money here, and the phrase "this is going to make us a lot of money" kind of disturbed me a little bit, and I'm like, well, we want to make a lot of money, but it's no good if it just sits in my pocket and does nothing. So what we're doing is, whenever we can, we're transporting some of the more not like, I'm going to use the term loosely, it's probably the wrong term, but not vital parts of it. We're going to farm those out to nonprofits and stuff like that. So our staking platform, for instance, it's going to be a pretty big part of it, but we would rather go ahead and have any kind of monies or anything like that go more into the community than the staking, building out the staking platform and having them make money. We're going to be mentoring a nonprofit to actually build our staking platform.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to be working with one or two. We've got our own nonprofit. It's called Humanifest. It's going to go ahead and fund veteran things, put schools in, help underprivileged people that need more education, help battered women and stuff like that. Stuff that really needs to be resolved. We're going to try and help resolve too, because like I said, we can make all the money in the world, but if it just sits in my pockets and it just helps me buy a Lamborghini or something like that, that's empty money. We're doing good to the planet. Let's do good to the people that live on this planet as well.
Yeah, and once you kind of sift through all the mechanics of how everything is operating, yes, like Nick said, there's a nonprofit is actually building the staking platform and minting the token that is earned by staking. There's no dev supply, there's no pre-mint, there's no pre-sale. All of the tokens are given away, and the only way that they are released into circulation is through staking NFTs. That's the mining process. So the staking platform itself doesn't make any money. And when you kind of go through the whole line of the mechanics there, it's like we're basically sharing natural resources with participants in the community. And it's like Nick said, we're not setting it up that way for us to make more money. We already have our own, model to make money for the business. So it's like we don't need that. We just want to introduce this new kind of I guess somewhat altruistic philosophy. But
so what you're saying is you're anti trickle down economics. Interesting.
Just like a TED talk about donut economics that this kind of reminds me of. Where it's sort of like you end up getting put into a circular economy, but it sits in a sweet spot, which it sounds like you guys are targeting. So the staking thing, like when do you guys plan on having your first solar panels? Like when? Because that's the thing that gets me, right? You're basically going from the basic currency will actually potentially, if I have this right anyway, will be energy, at least in part. And that's going to energize a community or a city that you build or partner with or whatever. Excess energy is it's always the case, especially if you're doing this anywhere in Arizona, where solar and wind turbines or whatever, like that excess energy often doesn't have anywhere to go. So the whole idea that you're then turning around and going, hold my beer, we're going to mine some Litecoin every time the batteries are fully charged, is something that I think is really smart. And then So yeah, when is the first kind of production, or when are you expecting to have the first production of energy that any overages would then get applied to the staking? If I got that right, is that kind of what you guys are thinking?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, so like launching all our NFT series, that's kind of the start of our economy. That's like the official start, the first phase of everything we're building out. Right. Physical construction, offline of the city, we're looking at another year and a half before that's done. So we will have launched maybe 20 NFT series by then, because through our joint venture partners, like I was saying, there's all these different sectors of, entertainment and media and business and everything that we're launching these NFT series. But the staking platform, we're trying to launch that part in the summer, hopefully by late summer. But we have... Yeah, so that's the answer to that question. But the other part that we're kind of introducing here that I'm looking forward to a discussion with you guys on this is what we're calling sustainable gamification, right? Like really deep storylines, long lasting. Everything that we do, every NFT we mint, we want to have a much deeper purpose than just, art and collectibles, specific purposes, right, for each individual series. And yeah, it's like, I don't know. This is just kind of my, perspective and my viewpoint analyzing so many NFT series the past couple of years. I think that's where everything's going, right? Is the deeper purpose behind it. Right. And I see a lot of projects, if they're not doing well, they come back and say, oh, it's just a collectible. I'm like, no, man, that means like your utility didn't work.
Or that means you're just being lazy and you just stopped.
Yeah, or you don't know what to do, or you don't have a, you know, creative enough team to really make it compelling and really engage your community. That it
Right, and
sounds like
that's
a cop out. Yeah.
and again, that's, you know, the reason why we want to have a community kind of like the Uplifts, you know, community behind us, because the Uplift community has always been one of, hey, this isn't working, can you guys try this? Hey, this isn't working, can you guys try this? It's, you know, it's that feedback from the community that's going to, you know, bring us to fruition. It's going to help us with this idea. We've got a good solid idea of sustainable gamification for our projects, but there's the phrase is, you don't know what you don't know. So let's say all of a sudden the trend is, you know, to have a dragon with a green cap be, you know, like the savior of this universe that of this universe within the metaverse that we're going to be building. You know, hey, that's what the public wants. Let's go ahead and see how we can, you know, shape it in there. So we're giving these NFTs the life that they've needed, the life that they can have, but nobody has either nurtured, or, you know, they were just like, dude, let's just go ahead and put out, you know, a picture of weird looking Jimmy D in a mask. And, you know,
wait. I seriously think that we should maybe arts it up, like run it through an animation filter or something like that.
Yeah.
Just like it'll make it an art piece. I mean, dude.
Exactly. Yes.
Sorry, what?
that and, you know, so like, instead of just doing that and being like, hey, here it is, and we put it on ETH and we have, you know, I have $200,000 and we're like, great, you know, bye. These things need to exist in their own. That's what a metaverse truly is. It is a place where things are grown and nurtured, and it's also, you know, where a community comes and plays, and either they can forget about themselves for a while, or they can enhance themselves, or they can go ahead and make their money. It's going to be it's a new way of thinking, and it's the new way of getting the community back in together, something that this world has been sorely missing for quite some time.
So it sounds like there's like a bunch of applications that are going to be involved, like, you know, in the final you know, version of this. I just kind of want to take a step back and go back to, you know, how you guys described it in the beginning was it's not just like a smart city. It's like a place where, you know, people in the surrounding communities can come. Now, is this like an actual place? Like, do you have a location that you guys are going to start, or is it more like a city concept where like any office building or any city could like plug into it? Like what's the vision for this, and how does it get off the ground? Is it going to come out in a bunch of little pieces at a time? Like, is it like, I'm just kind of curious, because you guys, I think you have the NFTs ready to go. So what's the timeline on this, and like, what can we expect to look forward to? I'm kind of curious, because I think like there's a lot of really cool ideas here, and like a lot of them ring through with me. If you read the Permaculture Handbook, actually by Bill Mollison, which is a massive book on basically how to create sustainable ecosystems, you know, it's interesting because it was a lot of it was you know, revelations that he had when he was in Tasmania, and like, it's one of the most fragile places on earth, right?
Yep.
And what they came to the conclusion is like, we're doing it wrong. Like it's the same thing with economics. We're doing it wrong, right? Like we're extracting from the environment rather than designing an environment that produces more than we need, right? And that's a big kind of like life shift, right? We get all of these people out there, these noble people in the world, and they're walking around. I'm sorry, I'm going to be a dick here, but they're walking around on their high horses because they're awesome people, and they shop at Whole Foods and they recycle. Well, I mean, most of that fucking recycling ends up in a dumpster somewhere, right? Like it's at face value, right? Like there's a lot of people out there in the world that think that they're doing the right thing, but the media that we have basically shelters people off into their own little echo chamber, and they don't see what's happening on other sides of the world or other parts of the world. Like I know Nick's traveled extensively, right? So like he's seen it, but like most people don't. right? And so this is my whole thing, is like, this is one of the things that I struggled with before I even got into blockchain and cryptocurrency. You know, how do you get people to actually fucking give a shit? Because like, we're all on this planet that's probably going towards the moon. It's going to go towards a rock, and we've got all of these amazing people, right? And it almost seems like, unless you're Elon Musk, it's like, you know, has this much power and this much control, that is actually like trying to do probably something decent for the world or good for the world, like that nobody's listening, right? Like we live in an economy. This is a really bad meme too, but we live in an economy where, like, you know, Papa John, his shop is closed because Walmart put him out of business, and now he's working at Walmart, and the only place he can afford to shop is Walmart, right? Like this is the world economy that we live in, and we need to get back. Like Nick knows, I'm a little bit passionate about this, but like, we need to get back to this place where we're actually producing more value than we're consuming, and we can do that easily as a species. I mean, that's how we built civilization. We didn't build civilization by, like, you know, going out there and like running on all fours and sinking our back teeth into the, you know, legs of the, I don't know, whatever. There's no fucking caribous, but there's something that bounces and runs over there. It was good until that point. Anyway, carry on, gentlemen.
You were crushing it right till the end there.
Exactly. Yeah, but let me tell you something. Elon Musk wishes they could be us. I mean, that's just, I mean, he's a good guy. He's got great intentions and stuff like that, but he wishes that he could be us.
Is that's your fourth NFT?
Yep.
Yeah, but to answer your question, Jimmy,
we're going to say super bold things about billionaires who made rockets that NASA wishes they had. Okay, go on.
Yeah, but to answer your question, like, so yeah, where this development is, it's about 50 acres. So it's a commercial mixed-use, occupant-owned. The first floor is businesses, small businesses, right? So there's going to be 300 units in this, you know, the pilot city, and people live above, right? So it kind of fosters, you know, community in and of itself. But we're using, it's not like this, you know, woo-woo type of development thing where, like, we're using modular home parts, we're using shipping containers for a lot of the units. And, you know, like I said, sustainable agriculture, we're using a customizable operating system for the smart home technology, which is a Arizona-based startup. Yeah, and incorporating blockchain, NFTs, all that stuff. But yeah, the other decision we made, Jimmy, was early on, it's like, where are we going to build, right? Do we want to build in a third world country or somewhere like 100 miles outside of civilization and then ask everybody to come to us? We're like, no, that's not the answer. That's been attempted for decades, right? All these kind of like really, you know, futuristic, future forward thinking type of developments, and they move very slow because of that. And so that, I was emphatic on that point. It's like, we got to build from within, right? And we're going to be attached to the grid as a backup system. So we're not going to be we're not trying to fight like the energy companies here, right? We're just trying to push things forward, but starting within, you know, bigger cities and kind of branching out. You know, maybe we'll get to third world eventually, but that's later on. So yeah.
I love it. I don't know if I ever told this story, but like when the tsunami hit Japan a few years back, it basically wiped out everything on that coast, and they needed energy, and they needed it fast. And Japan, being the country that it is, the technological country that it is, they decided that they were going to put something on the water, right? Because there's a nuclear crisis, they needed energy, and they did all of these PowerPoint presentations. Do we do wind? Do we do solar? Or do we do, you know, turbines that you know, collect the motion of the water energy? And it was a massive ordeal. And basically 70% of the cost was to build the flipping platform. And there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't have all three on the same platform, but because of the system where somebody had to win that government contract.
Yeah,
you know, like wind got put in, and it's just ridiculous. So like, I think like the concept that you guys are onto here is really important, because that's the thing, you know, we really, I can't change it, but we really need to get away from that old world development economy structure. We need to, and I think that honestly, like, this is why I love the team that we work with. And this is why I love a lot of projects in crypto. You need to start thinking out of the box. It's not what product can you find to do the best job that you need done. It's what product you can design that, you know, does the job that you need done, right? Because we do this. We walk around the store and I hate buying belts, man. I can't never find a belt and I have to settle. And it's like, I love animals, but I just want to freaking kill a cow and make my own belt sometimes, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then I have steak too, right? Like, I went to a dark place, but it's seriously, like, we live in this economy.
I was waiting for this conversation to get to belts. I didn't know how long it was going to take. I had a feeling.
Right. No, but like, we live in this economy where everyone's trying to design a single use item almost, right? I mean, it's kind of changed now. Now we have multi-use items, right? Like but that's, we need more integration of all of these different ideas. And I think that we're smart enough, honestly.
We are, man. Let's talk about integration though. So it's like we're actually mapping out the architecture for virtual representation of what we're building offline. I know we've talked about that with you guys maybe last year sometime, but yeah, that's going to be like the initial landscape of our, you know, metaverse that we're kind of designing is doing it in a way where what I just wrote up in a new summary is like we're kind of evolving like the digital twin model, because the digital twin is already existed with development properties all over the world where they have this virtual representation of their property to try and get people to move in or buy a unit. And it's getting more advanced, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, you're like almost a metaverse. Let's just keep going here, you know, and actually connect that metaverse landscape to the offline landscape. It can emulate even the economy, right? You can even like peg aspects of the metaverse to the offline economy, and then the virtual world can become a breeding ground of the offline world, so you can test new structures and see how people respond to it, test new initiatives. And you guys are, again, you've been kind of doing that with the Uplift, maybe inadvertently, right?
I don't know, man. Corey, I think we've been doing this wrong. I think that we need a metaverse for every city on earth, and people can just go into the Uplift world, go to a shop, buy what they need, and it arrives at their door like 10 minutes later.
I mean,
Carrot NFTs, we've been talking about them forever.
The analogies, I definitely think it's you know, thinking in terms of economies of scale, like you guys are planning in the real world, right? Which you know, conceptually I think is brilliant, and I'm excited to see, you know, that come to fruition, because it's something that our civilization needs, right? Any example of this, any attempt at this is important. But yeah, watching the sort of watching us mirror this kind of thing in the Uplift is super fascinating, because it's not intentional, right? It's like communities that are collaborating in a space, and you just sort of kind of get led down these paths, right? There are different resources. There's different ways to think about resources, whether it's, you know, server resources or freaking sand in the survival district, or, you know, attention over time, you know, in you know, the creative worlds or whatever, right? But then you end up, you know, there's ways to gamify it and tokenize it, and then it comes together where, you know, governance starts to crop into people's heads. So like the number of possibilities that are around, you know, trying to create circular economies and then scale them, I wonder, you know, if there's patterns that kind of lead us into similar things no matter what we do. I don't know if any of that makes sense. But
no, it does. And the ones that I'm focused on, Corey, are the ones with the least friction, right? Because I've analyzed a lot of, you know, NFTs that represent real estate, and they're very clunky, extremely clunky. It's like I like designing simple, elegant models, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're talking about wanting to grow, wanting to scale, it's like that's needed. And it has to adapt to a public marketplace, in my opinion, you know, to have a thriving, you know, global economy. You can't be building these little bubbles that are very clunky and difficult for people to kind of follow along the detail.
Well, and they have to be resource and revenue positive, because then
Of
the
course.
second that you get that done, and anybody around the the ones you guys put up, right? You're talking about them going viral or whatever, right? Like, you make a machine that solves the problem, but also is sexy as fuck and makes money.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I was going to say that too. Like the testnet idea is really incredible. Like, there's how many smart cities are in China, or how many smart malls are in China that are empty. No one's there. No one's moved in. It was a massive problem that was coming from that, like bubble, kind of what you alluded to, in the middle of nowhere. Like, nobody's there. They're empty. They're having to reform the shops and basically turn them into government housing, because like nobody's living there. And like, I mean, the apartment talks to you, right? Like, it's like, but like I like the idea of a test net, and like I think that what Corey's saying is bang on, because when I was studying permaculture, I was a little bit of a cynic, and I basically got yelled at and told to leave.
Oh, come on, you were a big cynic. You weren't a little bit of a cynic.
You're not going to do cynicism halfway. I mean,
right. Like I because I was just like, nobody's gonna listen to this.
You were told to leave where? Like who told you to leave?
Yeah, I was attending this course, and I was just like, nobody's gonna do that, right? Like, nobody's gonna go to the zoo and collect fucking elephant shit and put it on that field out there, right? Like, no, like, you're not gonna get like Joe from down the street to do that. And I just kept poking holes in it. And the guy basically, like, he had enough. The teacher had enough. He became a good friend of mine later, but he basically told me to shut up or get the fuck out, right? And like, I was pissed off. We took a break. I went and I hacked a butt, and he came and he's like, look, I'm sorry that you're harsh, but like, I get it. Like, you're a teacher, you're studying education. This is the type of person that they're training you to be. But he's just like, just hear me out, honestly. Like I, made $1 million twice and I lost it all. Like, as a banker, I came from that world. And the thing that speaks to me about permaculture is the thing that I learned in Mongolia. And it's not about whether people do it. It's like, build a freaking model for change that works and people will come. Right. And I think like that stuck with me, for the next 20 years up until this day. Right. And so I think that Corey's got a really good point, right? Like, and if you can do that via a test net, right? Like what you guys are suggesting, right? Like, if you can do that, if you can build a model for a circular economy that doesn't mean people are living from hand to mouth, right? Like what happens in the majority of the world, right? Like, it's the power of that for social progress and social change. Really, that's the only way that we freaking change the world. Right.
Yeah. I hate to go back to Elon Musk, but like, solving the electric car problem, and the Tesla is commonly known now as the best production car on earth. Right. So it's not just like, hey, let's make electric cars. It's like, hey, let's make electric cars. Let's scale battery production globally, and make them so that it's the best thing. And I think, like, especially with how much thought you guys are putting into this, right? Like, it's clear that that's something that you're considering. And I mean, I think, to me anyway, that's what gets me the most excited about what you guys are talking about doing. A, that it has to be tried no matter what, and B, put enough thought into it that you can create a product that is just a no-brainer. Everybody's going to want to live there. Everybody's going to want to be invested in the NFT staking, and then that's how it scales, right? Like, suddenly everybody wants to throw money at it, and it 1 turns into 10, turns into 1,000.
Yeah.
And realistically, if you think about it, none of this stuff could have happened without the development of Web3 NFTs and all this kind of stuff, because everything else that we could come up with would just be pie in the sky type of thing. Oh, we'll give you, like a V-Buck or something like that, or we'll give you this, oh, we'll give you that, and stuff like that. And it just never really gelled. But now that NFTs are becoming more mainstream and stuff like that, this is now the time where this is going to actually be the new way of, getting something for your money. I mean, you could get a tax write-off. Great. You can get a knot on your head because you're wearing something on your wrist. Great. We're going to give you something that's going to make you really proud to have supported this. We have with our team on EverSmart Labs, we have 2 Oscar winners or Academy Award winners? Oscar winners, I think, right?
Same thing, isn't it?
Academy Award and Oscars. Who cares? Okay,
Yeah,
so we
don't
got
they
2
give
Oscar
Oscars, the
awards.
Academy Awards.
Could be.
It's the same thing.
I like you more for not knowing, because I
At
would
the
have to
Academy
ask.
Awards, you win an Oscar, right?
Okay,
Am I
there we
wrong?
go.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of the artist award, the BAFTA, or all that kind of stuff.
No, we are. It's been a blast for Nick and I. Like I remember Nick asking me like a couple months back. It's like, hey, do you ever think you'd be working with Oscar-winning visual effects teams every day on a project? And these guys are legends, man. That they've worked on over 100 big budget Hollywood movies. They designed the storyline for Shrek. They designed the Shrek characters. They worked on Independence Day. All the all these visual effects. They pioneered 3D technology like in the early days. They have a long, like they worked on Star Trek. I mean, they worked on Star Trek, Star Wars, and stuff like that. These two people, believe it or not, have helped shape the childhood that we've all grown up with, or the young adults that we've grown up with. I mean, these guys have, you name it, they've pretty much delved into it. We love these guys, and they're genuinely awesome human beings as well. My hats are off to them. Yeah. And the other person I has off to is sitting in the crowd right now. Her name is Sophia I can't talk today. Sophia Olivas. Hello, Sophia. I see you out there. She is the one that is pretty much the Jimmy D of our group here. She is a bulldog when it comes to stuff. She makes her point known, and she makes her point known very well. And we love her for it and stuff like that. And we just want to, acknowledge that while she's here. So, hi.
So, So I do have a couple questions too. Like, if I'm going to go back to the NFTs. Like, you guys are going to do this on Wax.
Yes.
Like, so why Wax? I'm just kind of curious.
Carbon neutral.
Okay.
Oh, that's one of many reasons. Actually, yeah. I mean, that the carbon neutral narrative fits perfectly, obviously, with our sustainable economy and smart city and everything. But yeah, it's the speed. I mean, I've been around the EOS ecosystem since it launched, and was really into a new philosophy kind of coming from Ethereum development, and just preparing for scale, is kind of why I started going down the rabbit hole here. But yeah,
So I guess I probably should have. I guess I probably should have rephrased that question, right? Like, because I think Wax is definitely carbon neutral, but like, I mean, like, there's other EOSI chains that are really good too, right? Like, and so I was just kind of curious, like, do you guys have plans to branch out, or are you planning on just being exclusively Wax? I guess
at least for the first, maybe 12 to 18 months, we're going to focus strictly on Wax. Like, we've had a few meetings about it where we might do some drops on, through Polygon or,
Solana or something.
I'm not too keen on Solana, but let's just say we do.
Why is that? Like, the timing is.
No, I mean, but in terms of like our gamification strategy and all the elements of this project, like staking and, the token and everything's going to work the best on Wax. That Wax is equipped for everything that we want to do. We may do like auctions or something on Ethereum, because I mean, we're going to have like high transaction count type of operations, right? And it's like, I don't know. We'll see what type of evolution happens, within the Ethereum ecosystem. But anything that's kind of has, the gas fees as a relevant part of the process, it's just, it's hard to make it work over there.
Yeah, cool. And so, like, the I guess these are not live yet, or they're going live, or they're coming live soon.
Gee, it's a good thing that you've asked that, Jimmy. We're also going ahead and putting out our first promotional NFT for our founders NFT that we'll be getting out. And because we love you, and we love Corey, and we love everybody that listens to this show. What do you think, David? Should we do something nice for these people?
Yeah, man. Let's do a big giveaway here.
No, I want to do a big giveaway because I know what they think big is. I want to do a big giveaway.
Jesus
What do you
Christ.
think?
Like,
What do
that's
you,
like,
what do you
This
think,
sounds like
David?
this sounds like big on top of big.
Big on top of it. I mean, I put our Discord group in the private chat there, Jimmy.
okay,
So we
sure.
have a little channel set up there for the NFT Game Day group, and we did an initial mint of this first NFT just to make sure people will be able to get them, because once we put the claim link in the groups, you know, a lot of the bots tend to, you know, grab a lot of those free ones. So we're going to ensure that at least 50 people they'll all get 3 NFTs each. And these NFTs put you on the whitelist for our official launch of our founders NFT. And these are also going to be stakeable assets themselves, like these promos.
Oh, well, look at that. You go
Yeah.
into the Discord channel and there's like a few channels on the side and it says prizes and contests, and there's a hashtag NFT Game Day wallets. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So for anybody here that is listening to us right now, if you go ahead, put your wax wallet and hashtag Corey and Jimmy Rock, that's going to be a really, really good thing. Not going to tell you why now, because you know me, I like teasing.
I can't do it. I gotta wait 10 minutes for my.
Oh boy.
stuff
Yeah,
to be
Corey,
verified.
put your wallet in there. That's what we need people to do. Put your
I did, but now I gotta say Corey and Jimmy Rock, which is a little weird feeling, but fuck, I'm just doing what I'm told.
Hey, why don't you have to wait 10 minutes? Why do I have to wait 10 minutes?
Cooler than you.
Huh?
I don't know, dude.
No,
idea.
like
Who knows?
Like seriously, I'm in the right channel. It says you have to wait 10 minutes, and
Yeah, that's because you're overseas, and sometimes it's a Discord thing. We the thing is, we've got to boost it, you know, to get past that limitation, and we're gonna get there soon.
One of the rare times I will go America.
yeah. Well, I'm glad I'm not American sometimes, but like I kind of want to be like, hey, if I was overseas, I'd still have to pay taxes in America. So I'm glad I'm not American.
Thanks for that.
well,
That's
the public claim link for this promo NFT doesn't start until Saturday night. I believe it's like 10 p.m. Eastern.
But 9:30, I think.
9:30 Eastern.
Yeah.
So basically, whenever you see the show right here, if you're here live, put your wax wallet in our Discord in the channel that we just showed you. We'll send you 3 NFTs each for the first 50 people that do that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this is what you can expect when you see that NFT.
Oh,
fancy.
yeah.
That's cool.
I like the dolphins. I'm a big fan of dolphins.
Yeah.
You want to show the other image, Nick?
Oh yeah, give me 1 second here.
Yeah, the other image just kind of.
Oh, is this the one? Is this the Jimmy Gibb one? Damn it.
That's like that's got our logo on the top left, and it kind of represents like the early sketches that we did in our first meetings like 2.5 years ago. So,
who's doing those sketches?
A great guy that I found. His name is artist name is Bokatsu.
They're really hard to see, but they look really pretty. They look
once
like
you get the NFT, you'll be able to see them in all their glory.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I wish I would have had that guy as my friend in permaculture school.
Yeah, Bokatsu is a fantastic artist. He does mostly stuff in the Ghibli style, which appeals to my heart because I'm a big anime fan and stuff like that. But I'm also a man that has really liked the way that what's his name, Hideo has gone ahead and incorporated all of the elements of nature in everything that he's done. Hideo Miyazaki, thank you. I couldn't think of his last name. If you take a look at anything that Studio Ghibli has ever put out, the story is middling at best. But when you look into the rich and vibrant backgrounds, you can see just how much he is in touch with the world, the earth, all the earth spirits and stuff like that, you know, are a large part of Japan's culture. and all that stuff is
Miyazaki's-
always,
Yeah,
that stuff is
Miyazaki's-
always,
Miyazaki's pretty good at that. So yeah, that's exciting. I kind of want to. I think we should have some of his art up in the uplift. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, and
Gallery.
they just put out their website for the Ghibli World that's going to be coming up, and it's going to be really cool. It's going to be a very sensory friendly place. It's going to have like Nausicaa the Wind in there. It's going to have the home from my neighbor Totoro. It's going to be constructed in there. It's going to be real fun. You can walk through. You can feel all the stuff that was felt. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Yes. Yeah, I see people jumping in there right now, so that's cool. We'll be.
And like you guys really threw my game off having to wait for this long.
Don't worry about it, Jimmy. We'll take good care of you.
We'll take care of you, man.
Really can't focus. I just want to get in there and get my NFT. I mean, it's like
So hey, I wanna throw a topic on the table. We got about 5 minutes left, right?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
The metaverse discussion, right? Like the difference between the metaverse, a metaverse. Is Web3 actually the metaverse because it's a collection of everything? Because we're mapping this stuff out. We're getting a lot of conversations with our team about it, and there's going to be all these. Nick has new definitions like microverses, omniverses. Like what's going to kind of win like 2 years from now? Corey has the answer.
I don't know. I don't have the answer. I have an opinion. If it isn't a place where you can meet people that will allow you to build and alter persistently over time, then using the word metaverse is just a gimmick.
It doesn't apply there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you have an NFT that has the word land on it, not the fucking metaverse, go home. In my clearly humble opinion.
There's nobody
right now,
humbler than Corey.
Right? I'm the humblest for sure. Yeah. Now, granted, like I don't know how much stock anyone should put in my opinion about that. I am quintessentially biased, right? We built that thing that I'm saying is the metaverse, right? So, the NFT thing where like the Web3 NFT cryptocurrency, play to earn, like this whole nexus, right?
Yeah.
Where tribes are coalescing, they're intermingling, people are creating cross-pollination in NFTs that are sort of almost mirroring the cross-pollination of the projects and the communities. Like all that stuff is so interesting that if somebody wants to call that whole giant mesh the metaverse, like while my opinion differs, I'm not mad about it. Like there's something new in the way that we're going to conduct civilization in that, right? As we move into a digital space. Like I think if you're not in some kind of 4-dimensional persistent environment, you're just window dressing on just cryptocurrency gamification basically, right?
So do you think it's going to end up being like when people say, yeah, are you on the blockchain? Yeah, I'm on the blockchain, right? But over time, as people are educated, are like, oh, which one? And then it's like, oh yeah, I'm on WAC or I'm on Ethereum. And then people like Sandbox and Decentraland, it's like, yeah, we're in the metaverse. We're the metaverse. It's like, oh, which one? It's like, oh, Sandbox.
Right.
Or we're
which internet? I think that's a really that's a good point, right? And like we talk about connecting, our worlds with other Minecraft based worlds. Potentially, we're doing collabs with Immersus this year, which is a totally different kind of platform, right? Yeah. And so like creating network effect is a core principle for us for sure over time. But yeah, I think like by the time the vast majority of people are using things that are connected to blockchain, it's going to be abstracted and no one will know or care.
Yeah. Well, since David likes to tease me when I make up these words and stuff like that, because, there really isn't a word that fits better. I'm going to go ahead and go on the record right now and tell you my definitions of microverse, metaverse, and omniverse.
All right.
A microverse is something that you're putting together like a game that is just basically all of your property, all of your basic all of your basic IP goes into there, and that's it. You're just going to go ahead and concentrate on that. A metaverse is, hey, we've got this thing, but we want everybody else to be involved, but it's probably not going to morph beyond this. If it does, it's not going to be too big. So that metaverse is like the Uplift, where you've got the mall gallery, you've got Metaverse gallery, you've got all this type of stuff that comes in from the collective, and it helps to shape your microverse. So that's a metaverse in my definition. The omniverse is
to be fair. Right now we are.
Yep.
But
so
we're going to the omniverse, but
yeah. So the omniverse is what you guys are going to be doing. You're going to be connecting with Immersys. You're going to be connecting with some other people and stuff like that. And there's going to be seamless transitions between the two things. So that is the omniverse, because you can go ahead and you can, from your particular IP, you can interact with anything that out there. So that's my definition on it all.
And Facebook's going to be no part of any of that.
Exactly. Hi, we're Meta.
Yeah, they said they lost 10 billion on. Yep. I mean, and really, like, they're just going out and buying up talent. So, like, losing 10 billion is not really what they did.
Did you see David Marcus's Twitter handle? It's like davidmarcus.eth or something, right?
Yeah,
he was their head of the whole thing. And he steps down. It was obvious to me in his comments. It's like my entrepreneurial spirit's tugging me in new directions. And instantly he's just like right in the crypto community.
Yeah.
Talking about metaverses, talking about all this stuff.
This is the thing. Legacy businesses are going to have a very hard time thriving in an environment that, is moving past all of the way that they do things.
Yeah.
Jimmy,
it already is. I mean, collectively, all the innovation outside of Facebook is already much larger.
We had this conversation. I can't remember with who, but like, it's like, I mean, there's still telephone booths in the world, but they're like, people are looking at them and being like, is that art from like, is that like, is that the TARDIS? Like, is that like, it looks bigger on the outside than the inside. Like nobody knows what these things are, right? Like, and it's just like, that's the problem with society, is everyone's trained in a certain way and they become really good at what they do, and that's why we're not on the fucking moon yet, right? Like we should be on the moon. This is why I don't teach in America anymore, right? I teach like in Japan because I teach writing. I do a different thing than what I would do in America, but I don't teach in America because it's like, we're not freaking teaching people. We're not educating people. We're learning them. Like, it's really
you're programming cogs in the machine,
right? Like, it's really frustrating to see how much talent, sometimes even in Japan too, right? But it's really frustrating to see how much talent people have and where that talent gets driven into, right? and where it gets capped. And I think the benefit of the cryptocurrency ecosystem is like, we are rebels by nature. And if we can get to that point where, everyone can have an opinion, we're halfway there. We still need to get to the point where people don't think that their opinion is right just because it's theirs. we still need that proper focus of education because we're kind of out of the loop on that. But like, I'm 100% like honest about this. I think we're gonna have to go through a little bit of a dark time while we integrate the current system that is out there in the world, like the Facebooks, for example, the Block ones, for example, that want to come in and they want to like regulate the space that shouldn't be regulated, right? They want to, and so this is like really problematic. Like, it's going to be tough, but like, you know, remember the days of Steve Jobs when he walked on the stage and he introduced the first iPhone and everyone flipping laughed at him, like probably more than they laughed at Corey about the uplift world, right? Like everyone laughed at him, right? Like, and they're just like, you're crazy. What do I need a phone in it? Like, what do I need a camera in a phone for? Like, I wear a watch. What do I need the time?
Well,
like, you know, everyone laughed at him because it didn't make any sense. Fast forward a year later, and everyone's just like, you know, what time is it? They pull out their phone and they check their phone, right? Like it's
I mean, Jimmy, though, at the end of the day, like direct wallet access is going to win. I mean, do you agree? I'm pretty confident of that in terms of entering the metaverse or Web3. It's right. No middlemen. You don't have to go through Facebook's application to access all this technology. Like the greatest innovations happening outside of that. We're already seeing it. And
I mean, basically, all you're going to do is just open up a 3D browser or something like.
Oh, whoops.
Sorry. You're going to open up
next
your
show,
browser.
Nick. That's next
okay.
show.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I had to do a Corey and spill.
No, but Corey,
you know, just because I miss you, buddy. I had to spill one bean.
I mean, what do you get? Do you guys agree on that? I mean, like the future, it has to be direct access from like user to platform with nothing in between it.
There's going to be a lot of incentives for that, but don't underestimate how stupid people are.
Exactly.
Well, and I know that's mean. Don't underestimate how much value will get put into trading convenience for sovereignty.
I don't a really good way to say it, because I was going to say that as well. Like, right, like people are attached to their ways, and they're conditioned to do things that they don't have to think about, as opposed to learn an easier way to do it. Right.
Yeah.
And it's
I mean,
just like
the Wax wallet, right? That's not direct access. You don't own that.
Nope.
That is correct. It's depressing. It's a little annoying.
I think that I never get depressed about that because I'm not attached to the outcome, right? Like I don't need people to have for sure access. I need for the whole system to work. And Wax proves that the entire system can work that way, right?
I'm depressed about the fact that whatever Facebook launches, there'll be like 50 million users of it that go through that.
Yeah.
The whole way that they want them to go. And then slowly they will leave. I would assume. Maybe it's like, I think it might be like a Google Glass type of product. Maybe it might have a similar lifespan
unless they kill it, right? Like the stuff that's going on Quest right now is interesting and compelling, right? Now it's not, I don't think it's working yet, but like they're gonna have more users, you know, in 5 seconds. They'll have more new users today than the Uplift has, period, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, if it's basically they've got so much momentum and network effect already that it's kind of theirs to screw up, and they might not, right? Like I'm definitely not gonna, you know, presume that Facebook will fuck this up, because they really might not. Now, granted, like the coin didn't do so well, so that's, you know, was it DM or whatever, like you know,
it's dead. Yeah.
I'm sort of like, I think that the biggest thing that will kill them is that every time I see traditional businesses try to intersect with Web3, they fucking fall on their fucking face.
I mean,
so
I mean,
they just can't cope with, for whatever reason, it never works.
Well, and sometimes they, like, especially with blockchain too, like sometimes they just do dumb shit because they're used to be able to they're used to being able to get away with shit in the background, and they don't think before they act, right? Like, I mean, what if there was a DeFi platform that hashed a backlist to the blockchain? That would be interesting.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know,
but anyway, let's go back to smart cities.
It's sad that I didn't know which thing you were talking about. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I think for me, I don't know, man. Like it's really weird. Like this whole journey for the Uplift with me, like, it doesn't fucking make any sense at all, honestly. Like I had never played Minecraft before, you know. Corey was just like, hey, let's go and hang out here because our guest didn't show up, and we'll get in a boat and we'll row around together, right? Like it's like, right? Like he's like, hey, do you want to help us put up signs in the in the cathedral? And I'm like, yeah, sure. He's like, okay, go get an account. I go, it takes me like 3 weeks to go do it. I go do it. I come in. He's like, okay, yeah, just go open the chest and put up some signs. And I don't know which button to press. So I break the chest and I was blacklisted within like 3 minutes, right? He's like, you never touch anything again. There's signs all over the place, right? And now we're working for this like Uplift World project that kind of came out of all of that. So it's really interesting. And I'm kind of excited to see, like, Corey's always been a really big advocate of this, right? Like, sitting down, watching, Ready Player One, thinking like, from the early days that this is maybe, the first step towards something like that. And like what you guys are talking about, like with the test nets and things like that, that's really interesting. But like, honestly, like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, we've got so many people right now that are like in the world and they're so depressed. Like, I mean, Canada's, Ontario's in a mess right now because like, kids aren't going to school and they're losing these social things and like all of this stuff that's happening that's like really bad. And it's like, if we could just get out of our old world ideas, then we could probably solve this problem a little bit with metaverses, right? Like with Web3, if people could just figure out how to do it. And Japan's the classic case. I'm really lucky. The junior high school that I work at part-time, they're a new building. Every single kid has an iPad. But that's the exception. It's not the rule, right? Like most teachers don't even know how to turn on a freaking iPad because they're 60 years old and they don't want to put, they got that thing with the chalk on their pockets fashion that going down and they like it. I don't know. They're rainbow men, whatever. It doesn't matter, but it's just really frustrating. It's really annoying. And like, to go back to what Corey said, like, we get to this point where certain people, in the world, they get frustrated because their life sucks and they go out and they buy a red Ferrari. Right? I mean, maybe if they can displace that energy into learning something new or doing something new, that's great. But there's other people that just get set in their ways, and after they turn 40, they're just like, oh yeah, like I don't need to learn anything else. Like, I'm me, and if everyone doesn't like me, then that's fine. Like, so we have these like two kind of dichotomies of people, and we need to get to a point, in my opinion, where people think through life as opposed to they just become something and then do it until they die. Right. Like I guess they're only going to do it until they retire, but the way pension and retirement plans are going, right? Like, people in Japan now are retiring at the age of 75 and they still want to work after because they've got nothing to do other than work. Right? Like, it's insane to me. Right. And so like, I want to see all of this stuff kind of come to a head. Again, I can't change society. I can only do what I want to do. But like, this concept about Facebook and dream, like, it's the same thing, right? Like, everything we do in business is the same thing we did to the environment, right? It's the same thing that we do to people's minds. It's just the same cycle, the same pattern over and over and over again, right? And like, I mean, it might be pragmatic, but like think about it this way: we really need to make the shift between being a production economy rather than a consumer economy, right? Like we need to be producing on all levels. We need to stop consuming people's thoughts to do meaningless tasks. We need to be able to engage them to be producing ideas that actually make better sense in society. And this is the one thing that I've noticed about living in the uplift world, or almost every other metaverse that's out there that has people in it. People are going in there and they're figuring out ways to make the world their own. Weird ways that nobody's even thinking about, right? Whether it happens to be this weird off-base art gallery in the uplift, or it happens to be, man, it was really bizarre, but it was a really cool concept. I don't know if you remember, Corey, we had Ella Totti on, and she had this like dark room, and like it was this weird thing in another metaverse, right? Like the artists, right? Like the builders.
Well, hang on, Jimmy. What's the negative connotation to making something their own? Because that's an inherent like human trait, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. There was no negative connotation.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I wasn't that way. I was saying like taking back the reins to your own life. Right. Like
Right,
instead of just, sitting in a saddle and letting the horse lead you to wherever it wants to go, like, just be like, holy shit, I got the reins. And I mean, I could just, walk with the horse, but it'd be much cooler if I could make the reins a little bit longer and teach the horse how to skip rope. I'm done.
And I'm going to go ahead and borrow a Jimmy line here. I love Jimmy to death. He's the greatest person I know. He is always right, except I'm going to go ahead and disagree with him on one point.
Oh boy.
He said I'm not going to
boy.
he said I'm not going to change society. Bullshit. Bullshit and bullshit, because by sitting here talking the way that you're talking, you're changing society right now. By putting the thoughts out of your head into the ether and onto this wonderful thing we call YouTube, Twitch, and streaming, you're changing the world already. It takes one person that's going to actually hear those thoughts, bring it to fruition. So you're changing the world, dude. Don't belittle yourself.
Hey man,
everybody changes their world in the littlest way possible. It takes one small act of kindness. It takes one small word. It takes one small thing that can spark the biggest revolution.
I mean, I really appreciate that. I would like, and honestly, I do. If you go back, there's like shows that we've missed, like there's days that we haven't aired live, and sometimes we just don't go live, but sometimes we do. And I'm here by myself, and no guest shows up, and Corey's busy, and I crash and I burn. So if it wasn't for Corey, I wouldn't be here, and nobody would be listening to me. So thank you, Corey.
The other side of that is that 98% of the time you don't. And like, remember when we were trying to decide like, hey, we should do like a show every week, and I'm like, what if we did every fucking day? And she was like, you're insane. That's dumb. And then we did. And we did that for like 6-7 months, like literally every day. And we're down to 5 days a week, whatever. Yeah, Nick, I think you're right. And the thing is, like, coming from these principled things where the we have to dare greatly to even attempt this stuff, and chances are it's not going to work. But if we don't do it, no one will do it. So we have to try. And if you succeed, cool, civilization works for another 1,000 years. So like the stakes are, high.
I like that comment. The revolution will not be televised. It will be in the
metaverse.
I like that.
Beautiful. And Morton,
Corey,
and Morton, just on a personal thing, you got to stop winning all those damn crypto writer things. I swear. You win one more of those things, and I'm going to have to find a way to ban you from our metaverse.
Him and Helen is. Corey, we must have been having a really good conversation, because I don't think we put up gratitudes today.
Oh, here, let me pull the game up.
We should definitely do that if you guys have time. Sorry about that.
And while we're waiting for this, I do have another little surprise, for everybody. When we finally do the hydroponics and stuff like that, David, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it part of my contract to have this happen. There's going to be a small little section called the Jimmy D it's going to be in Jimmy D's thing for the hydroponics and stuff like that. There's got to be a little black.
You were doing really good there until you stumbled on my name. But
it is. It is. It's been a day already.
He had a picture of you in a gimp mask in his head. Like that stumble was really well.
Oh boy, there we go.
Jimmy has power and he will use it. Now,
but there will be a little spot for Jimmy D, because I mean the words that you constantly say have affected me in ways. You're always on mycelium. You're always on, making everything a big market that goes ahead and sustains everybody. There we go. A Jimmy D chia pet. There we go. You'll have a Jimmy D chia pet.
The beard.
I was half into this project before now. Now I am all in on this project.
Yep.
Man,
Jimmy chia pets, dude. Like, how did we miss that?
Right.
It's theirs now. You guys run with it.
Where's Max Life? NFT right here.
Right. Yeah, nailed it.
Well, it looks like we got about a dozen wallets in our Discord, so like 30.
And we need more, man.
Yeah,
because I said I'm going big, and 50 is big.
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Surprised it took us that long. Really,
it was over an hour before I rolled that shitty joke out. I want a gold star.
Yeah.
You got it there, Corey?
Yeah,
okay, cool. Yeah, I mean it's weird, like my journey in blockchain and crypto. Like, I'm not. It's funny. I had like a little bit of a weird moment like the other day, and I told everyone everything I thought that was wrong with the uplift, and this is what I came up with. I'm kind of a little bit annoyed that like you don't have to feed the chickens and they just stay alive forever. Like, I'm like,
That's what's wrong.
Yeah, that's everything.
The chickens
wrong.
don't die hard enough.
The chickens don't die hard enough.
Actually,
I actually somebody else said that too, and I was doing weird plays on
have you
chicken
guys
die
this?
hard.
I can't walk by here and not come in here.
Yeah.
Wow, that is cool
Jesus.
stuff.
Yeah.
Koi.
Yep. That's Metaverse tunnels, right?
Yeah.
These are yes. You can't walk by Metaverse tunnels and not come here.
Wow.
I'm really glad people are paying attention to art and not listening to my really bad jokes.
Indeed.
I mean, I think that is just so rad that you guys get to kind of watch like this evolution in real time.
Agreed.
Pretty much every day, right?
Yep.
Like you don't know what's going to happen. Like that, like the all metaverse is basically just kind of evolving as you're watching and facilitating the space for people.
Yeah, it's epic. And every once in a while, I think like every 3 to 4 months, I end up having one of these moments where it's usually when I'm doing a demo for somebody who's never seen it before. And so I'm like, I kind of go out to like a bunch of the stuff that I haven't seen in a while. And around those things are now built up with stuff that's just like, wait, where did all this crazy shit come from? You just have like, you have no idea. Yeah, it's amazeballs. Anyway, Nick, why don't you go first? What are you going for?
Let's let David go first. It's his first time.
All right. That's also what she said. Sorry.
Right.
I didn't even hear the question. What was it?
What are you
gratitude?
Oh, gratitude. What am I thankful for? Oh, wow. Gosh. I mean, man, I'm thankful for just kind of the team that we put together on this project. It's all people with kind of like-minded, unified mission in terms of what we're building. Even you guys, Jimmy and Corey, appreciate kind of bringing us on here and having this discussion. I think it's exciting. I would hope that it's inspiring to, the people watching to kind of see where we're going with all this. But yeah, I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, David. All right.
And I'm thankful for not only the community we're going to build, but the Uplift community was heralded by these two men right here. I am the luckiest son of a bitch in the world because I've got a friend like David. I've known him since high school. But Corey and Jimmy, I feel like I've known you that long as well. You guys have always been kind and nice to me, and we've always had some good laughs. We've had some disagreements. We've had some fun and stuff like that. And we can always come back and we can always laugh. We can always smile, and we'll have a friendship that won't die. And for that, I am absolutely 1000% grateful. And I will always be grateful for that. And when we have our streaming channels and stuff up like that, I would hope that, you would return the favor and come on and be with us so we could go ahead and herald all the awesomeness that the Uplift is going to bring and all the awesomeness that the Uplift has brought. And I just want to hear more of Jimmy D's rants. I mean, I could sit there, I could eat those rants like, oh my God.
Yeah. They're like candy. It's like
yeah.
Candy for the soul, really.
It's good.
Thank you for all that, Nick. I couldn't agree more. All right. Well, I'll try and edit. Sophia's down. Anybody in the comments who wants to put up a gratitude, let me know. Obviously, try and keep it small enough to put on a little birch sign because they're tiny. But I'll edit as I can. Jimmy, how about you?
This is kind of tough for me today because I have a few, but I'll try to narrow it down. I'm grateful. Well, I mean, in a way, I'm grateful for my job, but I think it's more than that. I'm great because things are happening. I'm grateful for what I do here in this space.
And there's a lot of people out there that will see this tomorrow, and they're grateful for it too, Jimmy D.
Like
never ever forget that.
And it, kind of going back to what Nick said, it's weird. Like I've known certain people. I had an interview today earlier on over on the Jenner EOS channel, and I was talking to Ross from EOSphere, we're chatting. He's just like, you're everywhere. And I'm like, yeah. And like, I'm too many places. Like, but I've met so many good people doing so many good things in this space, and it's nuts. And so, you know, it does feel like, you know, it's weird, man. Cause it's like, I've actually never met Corey. And, you know, you said something that rang really true, right? Like you and David are like high school buddies basically. And man, like Corey's like my high school buddy that time forgot to put us in the same high school. Really, that's kind of like it's really bizarre to be almost like it's really bizarre to be best friends with somebody that you've never met. Like
yeah, it's a strange thing for sure. Like
it's really fucked up, right? So I'm definitely grateful for Corey, and this journey with him. Like I wish sometimes people, and I'm happy that they don't, right? But I wish sometimes people could see what we talk about when we're off camera, because it's really interesting. The dynamic that we have together, having never met. And my third one. So this is probably one of the most interesting shows that I've done in a really long time for me personally. I think people in general that are working in the space are really interesting, but I got to come in here and I got to talk about all my passions that were driving me before I found crypto. And the problem with crypto is it's a rabbit hole and you throw your whole self into it. But like people are talking about vertical farming in the comments and how we can plug NFTs into that, right? So
right? NFTs and tokenized vertical farming, like just like shoot that straight into my veins.
These guys are talking about smart cities where we can like plug solar and stuff like that into it. So yeah, I'm grateful for, I don't even know how to say this to be honest, but I'm grateful for a productive future. And that's not going to make any sense to anyone who reads it, but like just, you know, watch the stream and you'll get it. Cause like, like we really,
yeah, it's almost rhymes with like, because we in this space and on this show and all the places, we say a lot of things, right? Like there's a lot of word noises coming out of our face holes. What we do and accomplish will be the only thing that actually matters, right? And there's a lot of opinions about all the things that we say and all the things that we accomplish. And at the end of the day, like, we're just going to go out and keep working on shit and keep doing things like 18 hours a day, basically every day until we lose our goddamn minds and most of my hair falls out, which is sort of where we're at right now. Right?
You guys know
like look at why though, right? Like the you know, the future is in the metaverse. The future is the metaverse, right? It's it's that thing, whatever that thing is, in probably all of its definitions. Like this is the thing that could subsume the old order, right? Like this is the cell phone to the landline, right? Like this is digital photography to, you know, film photography. It's going to make what has come before and what is clearly broken obsolete.
Yeah,
and we don't have to fight against anything. We can just build what's next. And like that's why, you know, even when I want to fucking quit, poor Jimmy had to listen to me fucking rant like a crazy person yesterday. I was having a little moment. I can't. Right? I mean, never mind for the community and the team. Like that's what honestly, like no matter what happens, I'm gonna have to show up for work tomorrow because that I owe them for how much belief and support they've put in me and in the team. That's just, it's infinite. I have to, you know.
I was about to go ahead and correct you on that one. You can quit, but the thing is, you're such a person of, you know, you're a person of morality. You're got a good stature and stuff like that. You won't quit because your heart is in it for not just yourself. Your heart's in it for the project, for the people in the community, and your heart's in it for that person that wants to come in and do something fucking awesome.
Right. That, yeah. I mean, that, Jimmy, how many times have I talked about the fucking gallery builds and, you know, the experience builds that are going up like that? Thank you for that, Nick. I mean, that's it really, I can't argue with any of that. Like that has been the animating thing, but like in conversations like this, where like, what a privilege it is to be able to make real things happen right on the fucking cutting edge of trying to save civilization. which like it's probably a little bit high-minded or whatever, but like it's kind of where we're at, right? Like there are epic challenges, and instead of trying to figure out like, you know, I don't know, fucking what to sell in an ice cream stand, we're like, yeah, hold my beer. Like we need to get into business, we need to do all these things, but like, you know, let's see if we can make a lasting impact on the, you know, fixing things that are clearly broken. You know.
Exactly. I mean, we've had enough of the talking heads talking about the Kardashians, talking about, you know,
Who?
like yeah, my son was exactly talking about the latest celebrity and seeing what they're doing. We need to steer that conversation into what can we do for the earth? What can we do?
I mean,
to
if
help
the
future?
Kardashians wanted to give us like, I don't know, like $500,000 to like build their own, you know, Minecraft world, like
I'd take the money. and just because Jimmy was unsure if we were going to talk about this, so you know, we're presuming that, you know, because like we've got everything we need to do the purchase the uplift now. Obviously now it goes down to like the contracts and the yada. Assuming all that stuff goes well, we're going to launch the DAO. Over the course of the next 6 months, 25% of the DAO tokens are going to get you know, dropped on current landholders. Jimmy wasn't sure if he was able to tell people that or not. He totally is. And for anybody who's wondering why we can't do more, you know, the company's costing about $5 million. Most of that's coming from me. So I'm, you know, giving away $2.5 million worth of stuff in the first couple months of existing. And I'm not giving away anymore. And anyone who doesn't like that can fuck off. Okay.
Well, and I want to say one.
Hold on, Jimmy. One more thing.
Go ahead. Sorry.
When we do all this stuff, there's going to be, you know, some revenue sharing stuff that's going to melt everyone's faces. That's all. Go on.
And I probably should have went first.
It's amazing any of you let me talk at all.
Yeah, I also want to say this, right? Like, there was a scenario. Well, I would be here because this is mine and Corey's show, and it's independent of anything that we do in the metaverse. But everyone who's working behind the scenes right now, I need people to know this. Like, we're doing this, you know, because we don't know what happens if we don't. Right? Like that's like maybe like something happens, but like we don't know. And the people that we've met in this journey and the places that we've seen be built in this journey, and the amount of, dude, man, I'm getting DMs from people that I didn't even know that like are thanking, you know, and making sure that we're okay. And that's all that like we're really trying to do is to make sure that everyone who came in here and believes in us is okay, right? And like I think there's a really good chance that we were talking earlier about, you know, a lot of different aspects, and there's going to be a lot of different ways that blockchain plugs into society, right? But in terms of the metaverse and how that is built, especially when it comes to gaming, we have a really good opportunity to take this to the next level, right? Like, and so like all of those people that are wondering, thank you for your concern, but like we're here and we're listening, and all you have to do is come and ask us questions in a nice fucking way, and we'll tell you whatever we can. And if we don't tell you something, it's because we can't, and we're not concealing or hiding information. We're just we're done making freaking false promises that like might not happen. Like we're in this zone right now where I don't want to say anything that I'm not 100% sure is going to happen, because it's not the best way to yeah,
there's still some unknowns, so we can only talk about what we could talk about. Like it's a fucking pain in the ass is what it is, but it's also where we live. So
yeah,
we can do.
And so, but that's the thing too, right? Like there's a lot of people out there who have a little bit of misinformation, and I want to clear this up. You never have to buy anything again, and if you hold your land, then you know, you're probably going to get a DAO token. Like there's a brilliant person in one of the channels today that said this would be a good idea, and like I kind of wanted to say yeah, thank you, but like you've been thinking about this, but I didn't know whether I was allowed to say that, so that's kind of
no, I've said that publicly.
So fair enough.
That's the good one.
You know what, David? As we're looking at this, I see a serious lack of something. You know what's missing?
Oh,
ponies.
No,
Sorry.
but close. Close.
Okay, I was making shit up.
There's a significant lack of mooses in here.
oh yeah, yeah. There is like a
We
really
need-
smart moose that knows where he's going.
Yeah.
Moose,
Mm-hmm.
Is that David
Yeah.
Duchovny randomly in here?
dude. That's
Right? It's Mulder.
Probably.
Just kidding. I don't think it is.
no, it's totally not. It's an
It's
artist.
interesting. So you can't get in there, but you can see all the stuff.
Well, I mean,
Cool.
Just like what you guys are building is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous.
so
So cool.
All right,
can we
Yeah.
we like? Is there? So you've got a plan for the smart city. Is it drafted? Like, is it done? Like,
Yeah. So actually, what I was just going to say, you talk about like
Ooh.
vertical farming and greenhouses. We're building that, and it's actually going to be like the offline operation is going to be connected to our founders NFT series in the attributes.
Can we just like, can we build it like somewhere in the uplift?
I think we can. I think we could play together somehow here.
Or even like even a small part of it. Like I
Yeah.
don't know how that looks, but like let's talk about that because I'd like to see. I mean, Uplift Tower is the closest thing that we have to a vertical farm, but like I think that like the art concept is really cool for me, but I think what you guys are trying to do is cool, and I think all of those types of things should be showcased in the metaverse, and you guys are going to do it in the real world anyway with like kind of your real world test nets, and so I'd like to see that somewhere here, like when you're ready. No rush.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
No.
even know what that looks like.
Well,
but
we
I
have
think-
our land already, so that's good. We have our land plots.
Oh, you do? Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, that would be great.
And we'll be using some of those plots to. The biggest plot that we've got is going to basically, hopefully, we can do a somewhat real time when we start building the actual community. But on our sorted plots, we're going to probably do some showcases of the different types of technology that we're going to put out.
That's cool. I like it. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So,
Well, I'm definitely excited to have to learn more. And I mean, I know like we've been trying to plan this for the last couple of months, right? So I'm really glad that you guys finally got on here and were able to give us the update. And I'm super excited to see where this goes next. And so please feel free to invite yourselves back at any time. And I'm sure Corey is too, but I'm definitely like more than happy to come and rant away about like the crazy permacultural ideologies of Jimmy D at any time wherever you guys are, because that was pretty fun.
Exactly.
The world does need more of that. I completely second that.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say on behalf of the EverSmart Labs team and on behalf of the EverSmart team, we appreciate all the effort that you guys are putting behind us today, and hopefully throughout the whole journey. We can't do this without community, and we're really, really happy, and we're really, really proud to be able to ally ourselves with the community as strong, as diverse, and as just as fucking awesome as what is it within the Uplift. So thank you guys for allowing us this forum. Thank you guys for being here, and thank every single person out there that's in the Uplift. Come on, join us with our NFTs. Take a look at the community. Follow us. We'll be more than happy to have you.
Yeah, well said, Nick. Couldn't have said it better. Yeah, we're at EverSmart Labs on Twitter. Obviously, we got the Discord link, I hope, somewhere below.
Right. EverSmart City is at EverSmart City, right?
Yep. Yeah, the EverSmart City. We have some videos up on eversmart.city that kind of give a deeper explanation of the offline project and everything we're building here.
Exactly.
So yeah, guys, thanks so much.
I love that. I love that background, that Sakura chain. I don't know, like you're a smart guy. You might have the ability to do this. You might have studied, some like weird kind of martial art thingy. But like David, can you do a karate chop of any kind? Because I think that would just look really cool.
Nailed it.
What, here live?
Yeah, here live.
That's how they end the
Oh,
show.
shit.